Ever since Boris, the new Pacific SW7 Sandra arrived on the smooth railway, he has become happy with his job. He shuns trucks, pulls freight trains, and does most of the maintenance work very well. The engines he shuns and pulls goods with will be Jack and Max, and even pulls goods trains with Mary as well too. He was doing jobs and how he shuns and pulls trains together. He and Mickey the Crane have become good friends ever since they did man's work together. And the all engines are happy to have a diesel like them on his railroad, doing his job quick and being on time. And he's happy to do a job like that as well too. One day, Max had just moved a flatbed well at certain points, and he was going to leave it there since he was going to get some cold water, and he went up to get it. And right after filling up with cold water, his driver told him that they will wait for a passenger train, and Max was so surprised that he went off to the passengers. So soon enough, he went on the turntable and switched them and was first fast and moved very fast. But unbeknownst to him, he forgot to move the flatbed off the center point, and soon enough, he crashed into the flatbed, and it caused one of his pistons to break very hard, which caused a burst. When Max was reloaded back on the wheels, one of the Yardmasters checked his pistons. Well, this is bad, said one of the young your piston is broken, so that means it has to be replaced. But good news, we have a spare piston running around in this yard, so we're gonna replace it by using the new piston to replace the broken one, so it take an hour to do so. An hour? Said Max in surprise, but I can't take an hour because I have a passenger train to pull. And that passenger's waiting. And I'm late, by the way. So what are we gonna do now? He said surprisingly. Oh, he said the yard master happily. Boris is here in the yard, so you take your passenger train. Boris? Yes, I said Boris. Since Max and me to get a piston ball replaced, you go ahead and Boris goods train to the manager. And soon enough, he went to get the spare piston wall to repair Max. Boris became a bit worried. I don't think I'll do well on pulling passenger trains, said Boris. I'm used to shunting and pulling freight trains, and especially doing maintenance trains as well too, said Boris, a bit worried. Now don't worry, said Boris's driver. You'll do fine. Now come on, let's go pick up that passenger train. And soon enough, Boris left the yard. Soon enough, Boris was at the platform where the passenger cars were at. And soon enough, he coupled up to the coaches up behind the train with a wild bump. Whoa, be careful, Boris. The coaches are not just like freight cars, you know. Sorry about that, said Boris. Surprisingly second. Look, a diesel pulling a passenger train. That's great. I mean, it would be very great since diesels rather well, country passenger trains now. I bet this one would do too. A passenger train, right, guys? Yeah, I agree with you, said the passengers happily and gratefully as they ever were. Just then, Mary rolled up to the station with a goods train heading to the yards for another yard that she had just picked up from. Hey, Boris, said Mary happily. You're apparently a passenger train. Isn't that great? Well, it would be great for me, said Boris, unhappy. Because I find that the passengers might not like it. I'm used to freight trains, he said, worried. Don't worry, you'll do fine, she said happily. By the way, passenger trains are fun. Actually, oh, I see, said Boris, a bit happy. That's right, so if you excuse me, I got to put this goods train in the yard, go pick up the next train. So, see us, he said. And soon enough, Mary left the station into the yard with her goods train that she had picked up from another yard. Alright, Boris, it's time to go, says driver as he went into Boris's cab. Alright, said Boris. And soon enough, Boris went off with his passenger train right off into the countryside. Boris wasn't going very well for the passenger train, and in fact, he was pointing out, causing the coaches to wiggle and wobble, causing the passengers not to go comfortably while on the ride. Oh, Boris said surprisingly, the coaches are wiggling, so that means the passengers will ride it when they're on the train that's wiggling. Oh, don't worry, Boris said his driver. Everything will be okay. Okay, Boris says, very unsure and skeptical that he was pulling a passenger train. And just then, there was a red signal at a junction. Oh, look, Boris, said his driver. There's a red signal, so we have to stop now. Okay, said Boris. And suddenly, Boris stopped at the train very hard with a loud gun, causing the train costed the whole train in the bay, and the inside started to hear like a bumping sound. And when Boris stopped at the signal, a loud bump was heard from inside of the coaches. What was that? Said Boris. Oh, I don't know, says driver, but hopefully it won't be that bad, he said worried. But Boris knew that something bad was going to happen when they reached the station, and soon enough the signal turned green and Boris went off with his passenger train. Meanwhile, at Quayfield Station, Mr. He had drove his car to the station to check how the morning days were doing there, and to see when the passenger train and when Max's goods train had arrived. And Jack, the 060 cell tank from the BEDT railway had arrived with his goods train one time. Max, said Mr. He, glad to see that you arrived on time with his goods train. Thank you, sir, said Jack happily. Great to hear, said Mr. He. Well, Max is going to arrive with his goods train soon, and once he arrives with his passengers, you will have to wait. And while you're waiting, Max will soon enough leave the station, and you have to wait until he leaves. And once the signal on your track has turned green, you're ready to go. Okay, sir, said Jack happily, and just then, both Mr. He and Jack heard a horn in the distance. It was Boris arriving to the station with Max's passenger train. And both Mr. He and Jack were very surprised. And suddenly, out from the coaches came some angry passengers. They were in messy clothes and their hair got ruined during the ride, and they had angry faces, while one of them was soaked and wet. Mr. He came running to the other platform to see what happened. And when he got on the other platform, he got many complaints from the passengers on the train. That engine you have on your railway is a what? Locomotive. Yeah, said the other passengers. And in fact, while I was riding the train on my company's thing, and while I was sweeping, your diesel stopped at a signal, and it caused me to fall off my seat. And when I fell on my seat, I got a whip in my pants because of the armrest. because of your engine going to a tough stop. Yeah, said the other passenger. And when I was walking to the next carriage, and when your engine stopped at the junction, I completely fell down to the ground and it hurt my nose. And when I was using the bathroom in the passenger car, your engine came to a tough stop at the junction and it caused me to fall down, causing the water from the toilet to come out and spread all over me, and now I'm wet. And I thought diesels were perfect for passenger trains, and turns out this one is not. So we want you to change engines now, and we're not getting back on board until you change locomotives right now. Everyone, please calm down, said Mr. He, and don't worry, we will have this sorted out. Sure enough, you have lost my steam engines to pull the passenger train, while we have the diesel pull the goods train. That's better, said the passengers. And soon enough, Mr. He floated in front of both Jack and Boris. You had a talk with them for the arrangement. Jack and Boris, said Mr. He, because of the complaints from the passengers on Boris's train, I want you boys to pull Jack's freight train. Well, Jack, I want you to pull the passenger train. Yes, sir. God, sir, said Jack. Understand, sir, said Boris sadly. And why after Jack and Boris swapped trains, the passengers went back in the coaches, and Jack had a word with Boris. Cheer up, Boris, said Jack. It wasn't your fault. It's just that your diesel was salty and quite framework as well too. It's just that you're not used to passengers, you know. I know, Jack, said Boris sadly. And soon enough, when everything was waiting on Jack's train, Jack soon enough puffed off the station with the passenger train. Chill, Boris, said Mr. He. Like Jack said, it wasn't your fault. Your freight diesel and your SW4 Sunter and SW7 Sunters don't pull passenger trains. They only shunt and pull freight trains, he said. And in fact, you're SW7 Sunter, so you pull freight trains. And right now, you're going to be pulling Jack's goods trains since you did a rough handling with the passenger train. And I know it isn't your fault, which is now your fault. Thanks, sir, said Boris, feeling a bit better. I know. Good, said Mr. He. Now I'll be off to check out the other stations, and once your signal turns green, you can go ahead, said Mr. He. And soon enough, when Mr. He got into his car, Mr. He drove up to the other stations. Cheer up, Boris, said Boris's driver. Just like what Jack and Mr. E said, isn't your fault. And by the way, I was wrong. It turns out that you cannot handle passenger trains. Thanks, driver, said Boris, feeling a bit better. And soon enough, when Boris's signal turned green, Boris's driver got back into Boris's cab, and soon enough, Boris departed with his goods train. And when Boris returned, he and Jack had a talk. It's not your fault, Boris. It's just that you weren't used to passenger trains. And I knew that all along when you left the yards. And I knew that something bad would happen to you while you were pulling my passenger train. But we had to do it since I had broken piston one and they had to be replaced in an hour. And it was a good thing you were able to swap trains with Jack at the next station. In fact, you only pulled my passenger train to one stop. I know, said Boris happily, and I hope I won't have to pull passenger trains again, because I don't want passengers complaining how my rough riding is. No, said Max happily. Come on, let's go back to the sheds. It's gonna be a long day tomorrow. I know, said Boris, and soon enough, the two engines went back to the shed.